Hello, hello. Happy Monday.
Sorry. You said happy Monday, and that was my reaction. That's all I got for you.
I mean that is correct. It was correct. So we've got Crystal joining us today.
Yeah.
Of course,
Look at
we've
that.
got Tom,
Yeah.
and
I
then
just
we
get
have a
happy whenever I
special
get to see our extra, our extra special guest's face here. Crystal is
yes.
she's not always with us, but it's fantastic when we get our extra Dragonmount representation here. What up, Noman Garden?
Hey, Gnome.
What were you saying before I so rudely interrupted you, Ebony? Something about another
No,
guest?
I was just saying we also have another special guest with us. Yes,
Who
another
is
guest.
it? Is it Kyle from
It is
BingetownTV?
Kyle.
Look, here comes an awesome guest.
Woo!
Love that. I
It
love
is-
that intro.
No, I couldn't see. Were you singing that live or was that pre-recorded?
Yeah. I was totally live. I do it every week.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. What up, Hopper? Arosa? Oh, Arosa, I'm up in your neck of the woods, actually. I'm up in New York. I'm on Long Island. No, thank you for joining. So, when you guys made a post, what was it now, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? And you called us out on it, and I'm always like for these rewatch shows, I always want to have like new guests every week, and I'm always trying to like find through doing this, which is one of the most fantastic things, we got to meet so many like really fun other content creators, and not that they're boring or anything, but like I try to spread the love around. Everyone's really cool, and like I have so much fun with everybody, and getting to meet new content creators is always great. And I was like, I haven't gotten a chance to talk to these guys, and I don't have you ever been to JordanCon?
No, it was discussed, I believe, either last year or 2 years ago, but it never ended up happening.
Okay, well, maybe in the future.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've been trying to drag my friends to Otakon for the past decade.
Oh my god!
So maybe we'll start with JordanCon and then go to Otakon, but it's been a struggle to get them to go.
Yeah. It's a great starter con, and memberships are on sale.
Oh, little shameless plug from JordanCon's new member.
I am the new member services
Wrangler.
director. Yes, it's my job to get more people to come.
Okay.
Another totally non-biased plug from the director of charity events.
Yes, and
Hopper
he says,
from Fairyland.
and he's gonna want you to bring your wallet.
Yep. Last year, what was it like? It was over 10,000. Was it like it was over
12,000?
Was it like $12,000 they raised last year for the Mayo Clinic? Yeah. So he's trying every year. He wants to beat it. But like I'm like, oh, these guys sound cool. So I was like, yeah, let's get them on the show. So I'm always trying to spread the love around. That's why I was like, yeah, let's get them. So every time I find someone that's cool, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a very welcome surprise, honestly, to see the message. And obviously I'm here, so we were happy about it.
There we go. So 13K. Damn, 13 plus, son. Oh, there you go. Noman Garden went. That was where I got my first Nomi hug last year. And he has no involvement other than being a supportive, awesome gnome.
My favorite gnome.
Yes. So one thing that I saw when I was checking y'all's channel out is that you guys, and I'm kind of jealous, like we interviewed Kate, like Rafe is awesome, but like we interviewed Hamed and Kate Fleetwood and a couple of the directors and stuff, but you got to talk to Tom Maryland, Alexander Willem. That was pretty awesome.
I think it was, I don't want to use the word like a vendetta or a revenge thing, but I think we reached out and he heard our episode 3, so I guess season 1, episode 3 commentary, and we made a joke that he like wasn't, an Adele level singer, but it was good enough type of deal. And I think he was like, I need to go on and like give these guys a little bit of crap for that. So he opened up before we even got on, like streaming live or, recording for ourselves. And that was the first thing he said. It was just really funny. He is a fantastic guy.
That's awesome. Yeah, he seemed like he was having a good time in the interview, so that was great.
Yeah, so he was also in show 1899 on Netflix, and which unfortunately Netflix Classic canceled it, but we talked to him after that season 1 as well. And again, just fantastic guy. He was up way later than he should have been talking to us because the time zone difference, just hanging out, drinking with us. So yeah, he's a really, really good dude. And hopefully we get him back in season 3.
Yeah, for sure. Like oh man, but yeah, and you know what? Yeah, no, he does. Yeah, he does come back. Yeah, he's back. He's back in the book, right? Yeah, in Dragon Reborn, he's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah. I just read Great Hunt and Dragon Reborn before the season, so I am fairly fresh, but I'm sure I'll step over myself sometime. So I will be as cognizant as possible.
Yeah. So then that's a perfect time to remind everybody that so from now until we finish the episode, we'll make an announcement at the end of the episode. Only book 1 and 2 spoilers, and then the end of the show, we'll look at some screenshots and we'll do full book spoilers for the last like 15, 20 minutes of the show. But we want to be friendly to our, non-full book readers for a little while.
Yes, you don't want to ruin the magic form.
Yeah. No, not at all.
And actually, Otakon was the first con that I ever went to back in 2002 or 2003, I want to say. Okay. That was pretty awesome.
There you go. I'm sure my co-hosts are listening. So Luke, Paul,
do it,
and Dave. Yeah. This is the sign.
So I'm guessing y'all are big anime fans.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
We just finished covering the One Piece live action on Netflix, which we personally
I haven't got
really
a chance
enjoyed.
to watch it.
Yeah.
So you recommend? I was going to ask.
Yeah. It was just a fun little live action. It's also been really fun to like other people in our lives that aren't into anime or anything like that. They watched it and they were like, "Oh, this is goofy fun. I like this." And maybe 2 out of 10 of them begin like the journey into the real series, which is just adding them to the crew, and we get to talk about it for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, that's. Oh yeah, no, you go ahead. You say it.
No, I was just going to say, and that's the reason I'm very excited about the show on Amazon Prime, because I have a 22-year-old son, and I've been reading these books since he was a baby. He had no interest, but he loves the show, and he's like, "Well, maybe I will read the books, Mom." So.
Yeah, that's great. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, you and I are on the same wavelength. I knew that you were going to say. I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah, so that's I guess one of my favorite parts of our podcast. And it's, again, sorry to step over you again.
No, you're good. You're good.
Paul and Luke, or I'm sorry, Paul and Dave, who had never read the books at all, and they just are eating everything up. They're not bogged down by any discussion on changes. It's just every episode is amazing for them. All the twists, all the turns have hit exactly like they needed to. So that's been just like an absolute blast.
It's been a ton of fun, like hanging out with people that haven't read the books and are watching it just for that exact reason. It's like watching people getting to it really, honestly, for us who have been reading the books for forever.
Ever.
For real. Introducing people to the books and getting you can't sit and watch someone read the book,
That's creepy. That is creepy.
Yeah. Trust me, I know from experience now. But you get a text message or a phone call or an instant message, whatever. Oh my God, I can't believe blah, blah, blah. But getting to watch the show with somebody, or even with something like this, when we watch it and there's people in chat or whatever that are like, "Oh yeah, I've never read the books." Seeing their reactions to things and reading their reactions to things has been fantastic. It's so much fun. I guess. Oh, and so for everyone watching on who usually joins our watch party over on Twitch, for some reason the Twitch watch party feature is broken in some way. So last week when I was, I'm actually, like I said, I'm in New York. I had a death in the family, and I came up to go to the stuff and be with my family for about a week. I go back on Saturday. But I was showing my wife how to set up the Twitch stream, and Wheel of Time wasn't coming up in the search function at all, even season 1. And then just before we started the call, we were checking it again, and only season 1 comes up in the search function for the watch party. And we can't. So for some reason, we can't do a watch party for this episode. Thank you, Hopper, and thank you, Arissa. I really appreciate that. He's my uncle, my godfather, for those who are Christian who know what that means. And he was 71, but you know, it was his time, and he did it in the way he likes to do things, short, straight, and to the point. He had a heart attack, and that was it. So that was the way he does stuff. He's very direct. He was a very direct man. But he was well loved, and the wake was absolutely packed, which my aunt really loved to see. At one point, I was just like, "Hey, Aunt Donna, hey, get up and just look behind you," and she was floored. The room was packed. But I am up in New York, and I don't have all my buttons. But like I said, my wife Erin is backstage, and she's helping us out. So we're going to go back to the old school way we did things, where you queue it up on your own, and I'll give us a countdown, and we'll press play to watch it, and we'll go from there. So we'll give you guys like another minute or so to prepare that, since normally you don't have to do that. And I'm going to ask Kyle. So what has been your, for season 2? Like, obviously, we've only seen the first 4 episodes so far. So, like, what is, like, other than, like, the obvious, like, it's been pretty awesome, like the step up. Is there any particular thing that you're, like, oh, they've really done that better, and I'm really enjoying that? Like, is there any particular thing that you, or just something from this season that you're particularly enjoying? It doesn't have to be, like, an improvement from season 1.
I think the low-hanging fruit answer is definitely Liandrin as a character and all the storylines. It has been absolutely fantastic, and especially the way her and Nynaeve kind of play off of each other. Just completely unexpected. Has done, I feel like, a lot for the emotional weight of the show. It's kind of tough when there's so many characters in a show, and like not spending. You can only have so much time with them, and I don't know. People may not like, I guess, maybe how much shine Liandrin has been getting, or Nynaeve's been getting, compared to, let's say, Rand's storyline, or Matt obviously has not been as present. But I just feel like the scenes, they're some of my favorite quotes. The dialogue's been really on point. The emotion has been right there. So definitely Liandrin feels like the easy one. And then a second one is, I love the kind of, I guess you could say, step up in maturity of Lanfear and Rand's relationship. It feels, again, like the stakes are so much higher. And at the end of episode 4, when she reacts to him kind of insinuating that he has very strong feelings for her, like that, as someone especially who has read the books, is like, oh my God, like that is going to get intense. So I think those 2 things stick out the most for me right now.
Okay, fair enough. What about you, Crystal and Ebony? What have you guys enjoyed?
I just feel like one of my favorite parts of the books is how well they highlighted women. Like, this was a women's world, and I feel like the show in season 1 did that, but season 2 has stepped that up so much. And I think Liandrin is the perfect example of that. In the book, she was not a character that was super likable, or that I had even very strong feelings for. And now, oh my gosh, she's incredible. I love to hate her. She is so evil and also so amazing. So amazing.
Well, since you guys picked Liandrin, I'm going to go with Moraine's little sister. Because and I think I said this last week, I like the fact that they keep showing us family members of Aes Sedai that are younger, but look so much older, to help drive home the point that their aging slows. I know before the series, we were all like, how are they going to do the ageless face? They don't have to. They don't have to if we keep seeing little sisters that are 60, 70 years old, and they look 40, 50. We don't need an ageless face, right? So that
children.
I think was brilliant. Or children, yes. Yes. So to me, that was a brilliant way to fix that problem without it costing so much and us losing something because of all the money they had to pay for effects.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I also want to say, anybody who's complaining that they're not focusing on Rand's story, if y'all have read these books, we had whole books without characters.
Yeah.
So, like, that's how it's supposed to be. It's too much to focus on everybody in one episode, right? So it's fine. It'll happen. So.
And actually, my sister and my brother-in-law, we were just watching like from yesterday and today, like while we've been here, I'm staying with my sister. We were rewatching season 1 so that they're going to get ready and jump into season 2. And since I've watched like season 2 a whole bunch of times, like the episodes of season 2 a whole bunch of times already, like going back to season 1, I haven't rewatched an episode since we got the screeners for season 2. And like the one power, like obviously we know they updated it, but like it's just like, oh my, I'm trying to imagine what they made the one power look like in season 2 in like season 1. And like, oh God, it would have been, I'm so upset about the, all the nonsense with, all the production problems they had with
It was
COVID.
plague times.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I keep saying, nobody was at their best during
No.
plague times.
No, but what they've given us without that weight hanging around their neck has been just absolutely
amazing.
fantastic. It's so great. Like, I just wish that we can like let them. Like, I know Amazon would never let them do it, but like have them somehow just let them redo season 1, like just without that weight, and like, oh my God, it would be amazing. Or maybe just go back and fix the one power, like in the After Effects.
But in a way, by season 1 doing that, like I think it makes season 2 even better because, like, and I've said this before, it's like I think some of us were like low key worried, like that they're not going to keep redoing it. If this is what it is, and now we know for a fact it wasn't writing, it wasn't acting, it was production issues. It was the plague because these first 5 episodes, and I'm like, I don't see how anybody's out here hating on this. Like, you're not being fair to yourself to not watch it, especially if you're a fan of these characters.
Yeah. Noma Garden, I'm not. How much did they age up? Did they age up, Maureen?
I don't know how old they're making her. I would have to actually like go back and listen. But I feel like we've heard them say 20 that the search has been going on for 20 years. I feel like we did hear that, but we don't know. Right, but we don't know what level she was when the search started. We know from the books that she wasn't full sister yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they did age her up, or it could be they aged her up based on the actress's actual age. Like I don't know that they've said Moraine's age, I guess is what I'm saying.
I think it's just based on her sister. She would have to be older than she was in the books at this point.
Okay.
Probably by 20 years, maybe. If her sister's in her...
Because in the book she was late 30s, early 40s in the book, right?
She was in her 40s, yeah. She was in her 40s.
Yeah, Noma Garden put it 46.
Yeah, she was in her 40s. Okay, so she was 46 in the book.
Okay.
And her sister, but her sister looks to be a good deal younger than her in that portrait.
Yeah.
Because they say it's right before she goes to the tower. And the little sister looked to be maybe 6, and what Moraine was 16 or 17. I mean, it still makes her older. Yeah, it still makes her older than she was in the books, unless her sister just did not age well at all. So
I mean, the
sister's
stress of being
35.
the head of a disgraced house, maybe that ages a little quicker.
Yeah, it's stressful. It's stressful. That'll give you wrinkles.
Yeah, and Kyrian is a tough town.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So again, I saw a bunch of new people join. So the watch party feature is not functioning correctly. So we're actually going to get ready and we're going to all do it old school like and press play at the same time on our shared devices. So just get ready to queue up the episode. We're going to do it here in a minute. For some reason, it wasn't giving me Wheel of Time season 2 as an option to be able to choose for the watch party. So here we are doing it old school. So I'll give like a shout out. We'll use my time as like the time, and I'll give a shout out for a timestamp because again, I'm not at home with my computer. And I can't put the little like timer like I usually have on my screen. So
we don't skip the recap.
Don't skip the recap. And watch the whole recap, and then I'll give shout outs randomly for the thing. I'll do it after the cold open and then, periodically. So old school like, here we go. I'm going to count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Okay. So I will say right away, I don't know how you feel, Kyle, but I'm a little upset that we don't have the opening sequence that we got from season 1.
Yeah, I thought it was just like an issue with the screeners. I guess like a classic first world problem of like, I was just, oh, whatever, that'll happen. And then not. I guess the other side I've been seeing is if it's worth it to sacrifice it for more screen time of like runtime type of deals. But
yeah.
kind of stinks that they have to make that decision.
Yeah. Right. But they seem to be doing everything to give us as much of the show as they can. Right? Which I appreciate.
I honestly don't understand why they can't just give them more time on an episode. Like, just let them go an hour and 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying every
network.
Yeah, like not for every episode, but like, if they need an extra 15, 20 minutes for an episode, give it to them. Like, why not?
Yeah, it seems possible. And it's also weird that I think I've heard like they're kind of almost at this point boxed in completely to 8 episodes, 8 seasons, which seems like a ridiculous kind of box to put yourself in for a series like this, especially that far ahead of.
They don't understand
I don't know about
the fan base yet.
I'm not. I don't know. I didn't hear the 8 seasons thing, but I do know for sure the 8 episodes thing is an Amazon thing. Like that's a strict Amazon decision. And apparently they're going to be doing that with like all of their new stuff, like their original content or whatever.
I'm just saying, Amazon does not realize what we are like as a fan base. I don't think.
I'll watch those. Put them up somewhere, and before Amazon takes it down, I'll watch it that way. That'll be good. So the cold open of this episode is absolutely fantastic.
It is.
The costuming is just so cool.
It is.
So we spoke with she was the director for the first 3 episodes. I'm pretty sure this one too, but she doesn't direct every episode. Her name is Sanaa Hamri. She is also an executive producer and stuff like that, but she loves horror, and she's worked on a lot of horror movies. So she really wanted to dial up the horror in Wheel of Time, which exists already, but that's where we get this entire opening sequence from, is from her brain. And I definitely can see the horror. It almost feels like Lanfear here, like, reminds me of like the girl from The Ring when she crawls out of the well. And that's the sound that comes up right now. It's so creepy. It's like a crickling. It sounds like dryish blood crackling off of her. That's when you see her, like, that's what it feels like. The other thing is they actually filmed this on location. The only thing that they edited for that scene was when you look up into the oh no, wait, that was I'm talking about the wrong episode. I was talking about Daughter of Night, my bad. But during that episode, they filmed it on location, and Lanfear, the woman that was playing Lanfear there, I think it was a stunt double, was freezing because it was freezing cold. But anyway, that was the wrong opening thing that I was talking about. Sorry.
You're fine. Arosa, her nails just fell. They just chopped off her nails.
Yeah.
Arosa was asking for time there.
354 in, 356.
Perfect.
I love that they focused so hard on the audio of the nails like clanking against the ground.
Yeah.
To like boom boom, like make it so intense. It's just like a funny thing of these fingernails.
This eye makeup though.
I feel like she anticipated it happening because she didn't have too much of a reaction. But when she looked down at her nails and like how far they were cut back, maybe she was expecting it to be like just a little bit, but
yeah.
Oh man.
And also Fane just strolling up like this is not a big deal.
Can we talk about his walk? Like just his saunter?
Yeah, he's just like, here you go. I mean, I'm gonna rule all of y'all in a little bit anyway, so we'll play the game.
That was one of my favorite parts of season 1 was his little, I guess the technical term, like an audio motif, but the little whistle.
Yes, the whistle. Yes.
Yeah, and then going back and finding him in episodes and then showing that to the 2 kind of show only watchers on our podcast and then being like, oh my gosh, like this show is all those little details is what makes it so fun.
Yeah.
So if you watch it with captions on, I'm sorry, Tom. If you watch it with the captions on, it'll say whistling. And then that way because I'm old and watch things with captions all the time. But like there were times where maybe I didn't necessarily hear the whistling, but I saw in captions like, well, where is he then? Right? How do you guys feel about how the horn what we see of the horn, about how it looks? Was that like how you imagined it, or was it a bugle? Or was it a French horn in your mind?
I guess I always thought it would be like wood. I don't know why. I'm sure
really?
They described it. I'm sure Robert Jordan described it because
he describes everything.
Go. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But for whatever reason, I guess I was always just picturing a wooden horn.
Okay. Like for me, it was straight in my mind. It was a trumpet. Even though on the front of the Great Hunt where Rand is holding it up, and I know it looked more like a French hornish type thing, but in my head it was a trumpet because I'm thinking Civil War and Revolutionary War and the little band that marches in front. Like that's what I had in my mind. So, and this part right here.
Oh yeah. I think he describes it as golden, but I don't know if it's like. I don't think if he ever strictly says that it's metal, but I know it's always described as golden.
Yes. And then I know
did you catch the bitch here when she says bitch?
When I first saw it, I saw like the screen grabs on Twitter, and I thought people edited that, and then I watched it. Or I guess earlier today, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's actually part of the episode."
Yep. That was fantastic.
But I think we talked about it on another episode, Tom. That we're glad that instead of the Dark One grabbing souls and throwing them back into bodies, he's just letting them be able to heal themselves. It appears to be with the true power as opposed to the one power because she had all the Sa, which is fine. But I do like that because I like it for the consistency it's going to give us. It's going to be really, like even reading it, it was hard to remember who used to be who. So,
what's up, B. Morgan? You got a new name in chat. I like seeing that.
And I also feel like I'm very attached now to Forrest and Natasha O'Keefe, like as Shariel and Lanfear, so they can't get rid of him now.
Yeah. No.
I can't wait to see him lose his cool.
Yes,
like,
I think that's going to be great.
Cool. Yeah.
Because he's so calm and collected all the time. So that's
not this part.
Absolutely. His hair. I know. And I know Rand is thinking she is just as crazy as the other one.
Yeah.
Like, what? I can't find a sane woman to save my life.
This is
she just looks him right in the eyes like, what are you going to say about it?
Yep. Hey, what's up, Gary? Wait, I was gonna say Gary, but it's Gray. What up, Gray? This scene is like, it's great to show Maureen's, I don't want to say coldness, but like her dedication to this mission. Like
her focus. Right. Like she is.
Yes, it's her whole
blinders
purpose
on
in life. Yeah, it's her whole purpose in life.
Yeah.
This poor man.
Don't say things like that, Hopper. Do not say things like that.
Now, Hopper, you know good and well that was not Belkoff.
Yeah.
And this is why people don't like to help strangers. Stuff like this right here.
You're not kidding. Yep. Mm-hmm. This is insane too. This scene, like, you know how easy, like, as a reader, like if you've been a reader, you can understand how easy it is for someone with the one power to kill somebody without the one power. But I feel like I never really, oh God, that was sick.
I love that.
Oh, so sick. But like
the sound of it too. The use of the power, not his head unfortunately disappearing off this planet existence, but the power coming into her hand.
Yeah. Well, and just how casual it was. Just the tiny little there was nothing to it.
Yes, and she's doing a really good job of having no emotion, right? Like it is, it doesn't bother her at all. Like this is just,
Not only doesn't it bother her, well, Bella is the creator, so Bella has all the powers. That's how that works.
Yeah.
If you know that.
He is the true power. What you're talking
about. But not only is it like just she did that with no care. Later, or in like a few minutes, when she, I don't know what she did to that woman. Like, I'm still a little confused.
It was very much the Matrix, what they did to Mr. Anderson when they were. And I watch a lot of TV and movies, so everything is connected to another TV movie.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
I instantly thought that too. I 100%.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you. And then like later in the episode, Ishamael says it like she just enjoys cruelty. And like that was a part like, yep, there it is. Because she like has like a little smile on her face when she does it. Yeah. And like when she rides away. So like
So this part here. So I will say I was concerned that Perrin seemed to be taken to being a wolf brother a little easier than he did in the books. Right? So this right here shows him fighting against it a little bit, because I don't think we're going to get it as intensely as we got it in the book, because we can't hear his thoughts. It's just going to be based on actions, right? And I do think he's probably, I can't remember how much time he really spent with Elias in the books. Like the first meeting. Like that first meeting, and then they split off again, and then it's a little bit before he sees Elias again, right?
It's a very
just until he gets taken by the White Cloaks. Right?
That's right. Because then Elias runs off after that, right? So I think we're going to see him maybe spending more time with Elias, and that'll be the back and forth that we get about his struggle with it, as Elias is kind of teaching him, instead of it just being in his head.
And fucking Hopper, not I love Hopper, like Hopper from Theoryland, but this Hopper is also just, oh my god, like I love this dog. Like, is it just
adorable.
Me, or are his eyes like? Did they make them like look like big like little baby eyes? Like they're like bulgy.
They may have you. I mean, humans are more prone to like things with the bigger eyes.
Yeah,
that is.
So what do you Kyle, like what's your opinion on this? So Lanfear didn't just immediately travel with like a gateway.
It's a good point. I guess in my opinion, I always thought of it I guess she could have traveled to Tar-Valon once she heard that they were going there, but I don't know. I'm perfectly okay with the reason being that we're not ready for that to be a thing yet. I think I'm okay with that.
If I remember correctly, you can only travel if you've been to that place before. Tar-Valon did not exist before Lanfear was
not only, but like it's harder and it takes longer.
Right. Now, so you could have skimmed. Skimming, you don't necessarily need to know where you're going. But to do a gateway, I think you do need to know, to some degree, be familiar with it at least.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because they set up a room, and never mind, I can't say that. Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, like, now that I think about it, though, like, she's chasing them. So maybe she just wants to catch them before they get to Tar-Valon.
She could just enjoy the chase.
I mean, she's crazy, so, like...
that is what happens when a man breaks your heart, Tom. So be nice to Aaron.
She's threatened me plenty of times before already. I deserved everyone.
And I will help back her up. So
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. Or blame you.
So I do like that we're seeing that. Well, I know Elias said that Hopper has an affinity for Perrin anyway, but I like that even now Hopper's like, y'all go ahead. I'm gonna go with him. I need to show him something.
Like, what's up, dog? His face.
Perrin's my favorite character from the book, so I'm just season 1. I think was a little disappointing. I was very against the Egwene romantic.
Plot I don't like that.
That popped up in episode 7 and then kind of went away. But I've been very, very satisfied as a Perrin fan so far in season 2.
Me too. And we talked about it earlier. I think it was you that mentioned it actually, that it's hard to get all of these characters on screen and like have enough screen time for them. So I know the original plan for Perrin in season 1 was to use the whole Layla fridging thing, which is questionable by nature, but like also sometimes like sometimes I feel like sometimes it's necessary, sometimes it's not. Like it's way obviously in media, it's way overused with fridging women for the purposes of furthering a man's plot. But
I mean, yeah.
I feel like in the case of Perrin in this specific setting, like it's going to help frame his entire personality for the rest of the books better than, oh, he just has these innate character flaws that are just like he's a little bit toxic and protective, and just because he's bigger than everyone else, he's more slow to act toward violence. I think this gives a better framing for even just specifically the violence part,
Right. Well, you don't have to guess, right? Because again, we can't hear him thinking it, so you don't have to guess.
Yep.
Yeah. And then also they wanted to sideline him for a while because season 1 was supposed to be really Matt and Rand and Nynaeve and Egwene. So that was a great way to sideline him so that he would just be sad and depressed and quiet the whole time. Now we got our first look at it. Lula.
So I have a daughter named Aviendha. I have an 11-year-old named Aviendha.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I saw you post a picture of them together today.
Yeah,
yeah, they did post a picture of them together. I posted a picture of them together on Twitter. So
yeah, I'll see if I can grab that real quick.
Are there any similar character traits?
They're both biracial.
Oh, there you go.
Well, she's been a maiden of the spear her entire life. Like from before birth, I knew that she was going to be the last one because this was too much. Just before she even got here all the way, it was too much. But, I mean, like
I know that.
I was just gonna say, and like she knows her name comes from the Wheel of Time. Like she knows Rand is supposed to be her boyfriend, but the Trollocs in the first season she noped out. She did watch the scene that's gonna come up with Aviendha. So she's like, they're going too fast. But also she's a dancer, which I find ironic because the maidens dance.
Dance the spears.
Yeah.
You like to dance, Perrin Ibarra? I feel like every episode this season, I decide like a scene is my favorite scene this season, and then I change it the next episode.
I think I change it every time. Yeah, I watch this episode for the first time, and I was like, "That's my favorite scene." And then I watched it the second time, and I was like, "No, you know what? That's my favorite scene."
I do. Valda. No, I was gonna say I like the puppy comes out to Perrin.
Yep. And I was right. I've been saying it since we got the episode where Valda got stabbed.
Yeah.
Nobody. That motherfucker is alive. Yep.
No, he's too good of a character to kill off that quick. Yep. Like because he is crazy.
Love to hate.
Crazy.
Love.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
he's got that controlled craziness.
Yeah. Just freaking phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
And just impact, like we said again on this thread of it's so hard sometimes to have so many characters in a show, but when you have someone like that's a quote unquote side character but makes such an impact, like he pops up here, and I'm sure everyone remembered him from season 1, even though it was 2 years ago. Like
that crazy man that ate that bird. What is happening?
So freaking good. And he's still got his arm in a sling there. I guess it's only been 5 months. He's definitely not used. So my one thing I was wrong about though was my theory was that he like kept an Aes Sedai chained or just a channeler like in a tent somewhere chained up and used them for healing. Like, and that's why he was going to be alive.
Even if he did, he might still walk around with that so people wouldn't know.
Okay, all right. So you're keeping it alive for me.
Yes, because I love you, Tom.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of hoping like they got a nerve and like he's just messed up, like he can't use that arm again anymore. Because at some point he's gonna have to try to fight, right? And I feel like that's his sword arm.
Yeah. And also, so I had another theory I had, Kyle. Was that like, and it might not be entirely true, like obviously it might not be right at all, but like, partially I said that they were going to cut Galad completely, give his Trakand storyline bits to Gowan, and then give his redeemable White Cloak story bits to Dane Bornhold.
Whoa.
So, that notwithstanding, it does seem like Dane might be the redeemable White Cloak. Like he's not horrible. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Right.
Although we might have to wait till the end of the season.
Yeah. But his dad, at the very least, his dad suggested to Moiraine to go and get healing from an Aes Sedai in season 1, and like Geoffram, or however you want to pronounce Jeff from Bornhold. I like saying Geoffram because it's fun.
I'm a Geoffram guy as well. That's funny.
Yeah. Yay! It's just fun to say. From the book would be like, well, looks like you're gonna die. Like, he wouldn't be like, no, go get healing from an Aes Sedai, ever. Like, he would never have said that.
Well, I do think to make the White Cloaks more interesting, they can't all be crazy, kill all the Aes Sedai. Some of them have to have that whole, they're redeemable.
Yeah.
Like, the creator does not make anything that it doesn't belong some way. I never understood, and maybe I'm misremembering, but it seems like the White Cloaks would be cool with the Shan-Chan.
Sorry, I'm trying to look at her mouth, so if I could see. It actually kind of looked like it was like from the Matrix. Like, it didn't look like, for a second, I thought it was like getting sewn shut. But then, like, right before the camera came off her, it kind of looked like she, like, the skin was like the Matrix, where it was just growing over her mouth.
Right. Baron.
I thought it was so funny that it would just have this cloaked rider in the dark in Tarvalon, and I remember thinking, like, who is this? And then it was just Baron smiling, and I was like, oh, they got me.
I also like this interaction with the Brown sisters, because, you know, you think of them as all as librarians, and the first thing they do is pull out some hooch. Like,
yes.
All right.
Yeah, I love this. I love this whole
true.
bit with
I think
them.
that's true of most librarians. So my mother-in-law was a librarian, and she can knock it back.
Well, it's but in the books, like, you always get this idea of the Aes Sedai, and the Greens, yes, absolutely the Greens, but not the Browns. Also, Harry Potter's ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's great.
I'm glad to see she's still in the magic world. That's good.
Yeah.
Still doing some magic.
I love how the show. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, she's Scottish, like in real life, not just her character in Harry Potter, and she's doing a great accent here.
I thought these two characters was a great kind of show of how they're just pulling things from every part of every book almost. Like, because I looked up Yasuka, who is that Scottish brown sister. I guess her accent is Scottish. I don't know if Scotland is a thing in Randland at this point, and like, I think Yasuka comes up in like the 10th book for the first time, and like the only time. It's just fun to think, you know, we need a brown sister. We have an abundance of Aes Sedai names out there.
Right.
Yeah.
But I also like that we're seeing a lot of diversity in the Aes Sedai. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of diversity. And it's.
I was going to say, and not just racially, like, in, like, obviously she's a little person, so.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been nice that I feel like a lot of season 1 and beginning of season 2 was a little maybe like Green Aja propaganda. Of, like, these are the cool
I
people.
will say I am a green because I'm a good time, but I got a little bit of brown and a little bit of gray in me too. So, but predominantly green.
A little bit of red too, or
no, actually, but I will say this: I am a Scorpio, and while I have a good control over my temper, once it lets loose, I'll give a lot of warning. I give a lot of warning before it happens. You can ask my husband, so there should be no surprises. But yeah, they gave. I was just gonna say they gave Liandrin so much depth as a character.
Yeah. And even now, even so, like we knew she was going to be black, but like even now, I had like I kind of half-heartedly said maybe she's not black before episode 3, but even now I'm still waffling on maybe she's like is she just trying to manipulate Nynaeve by like showing her the softer side and like that she maybe doesn't want to be for the Dark One, or is she honest? And I can't decide. And that's partially the writing, but that's like majority just Kate Fleetwood's acting ability and being able to switch back and forth. Like she's great. She's absolutely great.
I'm telling you, them giving her a son.
It's been so interesting.
No, I agree with you. No, I agree with you, Ebony. Like, I think that, especially with her, like, I want to believe that she really is a good person, and she had that one thing that was enough to make her turn to the dark. But it's not that she's inherently evil. And her son is the illustration of that. And maybe,
Yeah, and though Tom I think it was you, Tom, that pointed out a couple episodes ago that she does refer to him as the only thing in the world that was hers, that is a little narcissistic. So, like, was that still, like, it still seems to be about her. She doesn't want to lose him because that's her one thing in the world, not, this is my child, I want them to be healthy. That, for me, like, if it meant I had to go away from here for my kids to be okay, that's fine. I would do that, I think, before I would let evil take over the world. Just let me keep the kid. Like,
it's been really funny listening to the two show-only watchers on our podcast, like, go back and forth with Liandrin. Like, something happened, and it's like, oh, obviously she's a dark friend, and we don't like her. And then something else happened, and it's like, but maybe she's not. It's just like, because in my head, it's she's been lying, and she's using the power, and she's clearly broken the oath, so it's feels pretty cut and dry. And they're like, no, I think she's a double agent. That was their conclusion after we watched episode 5 and talked about it.
Yeah. But I lost my train of thought. I told y'all I'm old. But in the book, the book Liandrin just was very much seemed to be spoiled and greedy, because I think in the book she used compulsion on her dad a lot to get her dad to buy her the things she wanted.
Yep.
So there still seems to be that part of her character, because she wants this little boy, this old man that is her son.
Yeah. Speaking of spoiled and greedy, here's our Sir Roth, High Lady Sir Roth here. And Arosa, I totally agree. If they try to make her redeemable in any way, if they try to make any of the Straunchan redeemable in any way, to be perfectly honest with you, other than the freed Damane, I can't. I just won't be able to.
But I mean, if she did say, and I know why you swore your oath.
I'm like, so like, I honestly, like, okay, cool. Like, the only part of it that I like is that we maybe get more episode timing. That's the only part of the shorter opening that I like, to be honest.
I initially, when we heard that this was most likely going to happen, of Aviendha kind of stepping in for Gaul, I was a little upset. Just because I really like Gaul and Perrin's relationship. But I mean, I feel like after I saw this scene and the fight and the conversation after this, it's like, okay.
The conversation after this, by the way, is my new favorite scene in this season.
Yes, it is great. Because perfect Aiel humor, to the point where my husband's like, I don't get it. What's she laughing about? I'm like, sir, you're the father of an Aiel. What do you mean? All the dad jokes you tell. Like...
Nomen Garden. I honestly, I don't 100% recall, but I'm like 80% sure that the only things that she feels bad about is failing the Empress, and the fact I think
further in. Well, go ahead. No, because that's more than book 1 or 2.
I know. I was just gonna say, well, yeah, that's further than book 1 and 2. Like, so, like, I don't want to get into the other reasons why, but we'll talk about that at the end of the show. I'm gonna star that comment so that I remember to bring it back up.
I will say my Avienda made me rewind it so she could hear Ayula say Avienda again. I think she just wanted to see if we were telling her the right way to say her name.
That's
I think I think she was
hilarious.
checking us. Like, did you tell me the right way? Because there's an H in there, Mom. Is this the way you really say?
Are you sure? So not only is she been in a cage for however long, and
Yeah, her
probably
legs have got to be asleep.
yeah, but she's injured and she still kick all these dudes' asses.
Yes. Yes.
I was 100% yelling at my computer screen as I watched this, just like cheering her on, like, yes.
Yeah. But that little giggle that she does
Yeah.
when
Like,
he's trying to be
do you
protective.
dance, Paranoid Barbara?
Like,
Yeah, I was
He's
like,
so confused.
Oh yeah, when he
Yeah.
puts her behind him. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
she kind
love
of
the
giggles like, "What are
music.
you doing, dude?"
Yeah.
Yes.
And my
Yes.
favorite line. I think my favorite line from this episode is, "Everyone attack at once. If you go at her one at a time, she'll have you."
Which is accurate about my Avienda. This music though gave me very much Black Panther vibes.
Okay, I could see that.
It just gets me fired up.
Oh, look at that face. She's
just
so gangster.
She fights so well too. I love like all of the like weaponless combat of like all the grappling she does. She's climbing up on people and getting herself out of sticky situations. It's just really good.
And look at Dane is like, I cannot believe this is happening right now.
Yep.
Like he is whooping all of them. Like, should I get in?
Had
Should I jump in?
initially had a theory that Perrin was gonna take Ingtar's axe.
Oh, okay. I thought he was going to take this axe.
And then this axe popped up, and I was like, that's kind of a cooler axe.
Yeah.
And she is just breaking arms left and right.
Especially, well, I was going to say, especially when he picks up the hammer in the beginning of the fight. I'm like, oh, he's got the hammer, and he's going to drop it for the axe, and that's going to be a little symbolism there. But
I think that's happening at some point for sure. He's going to look at an axe, and it's going to have a split-second consideration of, do I want to do this? And he's going to have to.
Or they might even, like, this obviously is not going to be the last time he meets Dane Bornhold, so maybe he'll take it, later in the season.
The look that she gives Perrin when Perrin's like, "Stop, don't kill him." She's like, "What? You are harshing my vibe." Just that look on her face.
That right there,
it's like,
the look, and then she turns her head a little bit.
And she's like, "I have a Wookiee life debt with you. I have to listen to you."
No, but it's just so funny. Just I don't know if it's because I've seen that look on the face of an Aviendha. Like, what?
No. Okay, I could see that too. Yeah, that axe does look more like the axe he has like described in the books, with the spike on the other end instead of the double bladed. I love Kyrian too. Even I kept going back and looking at all of the clothes in the background just to see if we could see like anything from any other country, and I didn't pick up on anything. Everything looks either Japanese or like 16th, 17th century French, which is what Kyrian is.
Yep.
Is it snowing? It's
I was slightly confused by that too, because I feel like, wasn't it just Beltane?
Or, I mean, slightly different part of the country, but
That's
also,
it's a little further north than
we didn't see the topless towers. In theory, it could be ash from the topless towers if the topless towers exist. Also, the Foregate did burn up not that long ago, right?
Yeah, but that wouldn't be still raining ash all over the city.
It shouldn't be, but I'm trying to help.
And we were right. Also, Barthanes is her son,
right? But I also think that you were right, Tom, that the sister is the dark friend and Barthanes is not.
You think so? Okay.
I think so. I think that's what they're doing.
Like
that was my hot take. That's my hot take so far, is that Aviendha is a dark friend.
That is
because
juicy.
I mean he does not look bright enough to be. I just don't. I feel like if he is, it's because his mom told him he had to be. Like, he does not look like he would have gone out on his own and done it. He looks to be very much a mama's boy.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the point. That's the play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and with
Oh
those
yeah,
finger waves on the side, I've not worn finger waves since 1992.
And then so I think if I'm right about her being a dark friend, I think I'll have that confirmed in season 3, or maybe before the end of season 2. We hear that the queen of Kyrian is dead, and now the Barthanes is the king of Kyrian. I think that'll be the next step.
Yeah.
And then we'll get our, scene. They'll be back in. Oh yeah, when she the perfect distraction there to turn back around. Oh, actually, we'll get our scene of them going to a ball at Barthanes's manor, but for a different reason.
Different reason. Yep.
Yeah.
And I love the way she is playing Varen, because everything is very it's very like innocent. Every question she asks, it's very innocent.
Mm-hmm. And
I like that because you know she knows.
Yeah.
She knows the answers to all of the questions she's asking her, except for what's written in her book, which is really all she wants, and she doesn't care what she says because she's got Yasuko waiting outside to come in and get the information.
That's right, and get the information.
Varen is I think like obviously, like, I've liked Mira Sayal, and I'm pretty sure we as a fandom unanimously have liked her so far, but like this scene specifically, I was like, nope, she's Varen. That's it. Yep. Perfection, absolute perfection in the scene.
Even the look on her face right then, like she's just patiently waiting for the answer. Eyes nice and wide, just so innocent.
I love how Hopper and Noman Garden just
same time. Yep, same time.
That's actually awesome.
Fantastic. Did we just become best friends?
Step Brothers is such a great, terrible movie. Like, so many things wrong in Step Brothers, and it's awesome.
Yeah. So now, do we think here? So Varen mentions that maybe it could be compulsion.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think here compulsion? Do we think Liandrin just told her a lie and she's repeating what Liandrin told her, or is she lying?
So, the way she kind of stutters when she reads it, I'm not sure, because she kind of shakes her head like she doesn't even remember writing it. Right? When she sees it, she seems almost surprised that it's written there, which makes me think it's compulsion. But if she is book Shiriam, like it could be either one, right? Because of the way they're set up, they don't all know each other. All the dark friends don't necessarily know each other, right?
Compulsion.
Yeah, I think it is compulsion though, just because of the way she reacted to seeing it. Like, I don't remember writing it.
Yeah,
but here it is.
And I also another little thing. I'm not sure if I'm reading too far into it or not, but I feel like Varen purposely waited for there to be an accepted in the room or somebody else in the room with Sheriam, so that when she went away with her, one, they would it would get around the tower that Varen is there, and two, Sheriam couldn't try to pull anything, sneaky if Varen knows she's Black Aja, because now there's a witness to.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good point. I just came away from this episode so happy about how they're doing the Brown sisters.
Oh my God. Yes.
Like, I just can't imagine anyone watching it and being a fan of the show and not just loving, like, coming out of this episode with like a newfound love for Brown sisters, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm also very excited that they're not using
from another mister.
I'm very excited they're not using letters, like our letters, because I'm pretty sure that Robert Jordan did say that the whole book is in New Tongue, and he was just translating it for us. At one of his book signings, he's like, "Well, I've translated it. They don't speak Old Tongue; they speak New Tongue, but some of the Old Tongue words, yes, like we say taco, but He did say, but I've translated it all for you.
Wow.
So I like that there's no English in this. Like, yes, they're speaking English, but we have to assume it's dubbed and not subbed.
Yeah,
I like
never
that.
thought of that perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
The I love that she has a monocle too. I don't know why.
Yes.
I just really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Now, I do wonder how Liandrin got these girls up on these horses, because they apparently have been unconscious the whole time they were in the waves.
The only thing I could think is air.
Air,
Yeah,
right.
one
She had to use the one, but you're not supposed to channel in the waves, right? That
That's
was
true.
one of the things, because it would draw
Well,
the black wind.
She's constantly channeling anyway to have the shields on them. So
That's
true.
Well, she could have tied them
Yeah.
off.
That was
I'm
I
sorry.
don't want to say an
This
argument, like a
armor is-
discussion that we got in too. It's like, how did she do that? Because would she know how to tie off a weave at this point? You could argue that she could, because she seems to be in league with the Shamil, and we've only seen him do it. So
I like this interaction too, because but what she says at the end of this is like, they tried to give her some death, but now I'm wavering again, because the last thing she says, well, maybe she is just partially evil. Because
I also couldn't tell if that Damane in the front there, the blonde one that's been doing most of the stuff, like that face that she's giving her right now, I can't tell if it's please help me, oh my god, please help me, or like, oh my god, there's a Marath Damane there, we need to collar
I
her.
think that's
Like
what
I
it is.
can't.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think it is more like they have never seen such a thing, right? They know what she is, but like they've never heard it. They've never seen it. They've heard that there were them out there.
See, Arosa, I think that is kind of what I was thinking, because it seems like they're not separating at least Mashadar from the Dark One. Like I haven't heard them do that yet. So like if they're not separating Mashadar, maybe they're not separating Machin Shin from the Dark One either. So maybe they're making that part of the thing
That
too.
makes
So
sense, because that's a lot to keep track of, is all the different evils. Like, you tell me that there's just the Dark One, but now we got these little evil things popping up. I can't keep
Yay! Yay!
Thank you, Beth. And for the record, I'm the only Empress that everybody can love. We cannot love Tuan the way you love me. So.
True story. The and for everyone who's watching, if you like to watch video game streaming of any kind, go and check out Beth Doman. It's just spelled just the same as it is there in chat on both Twitch and YouTube.
It is such an experience to watch Beth play video games.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned this last time, but I like the way that they're doing the sleeves for the accepted dresses.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they look great.
So her cutting Nynaeve's bonds, like on one hand, did she do it just to mess with Surath, like one dark friend trying to mess with another dark friend? Or
but I don't think Surath saw it.
No, but she freed her, so like, we knew chaos would ensue, yeah.
Yes.
Like,
but
or did she
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, or did she do it to be truly helpful to Nynaeve? And I can't decide.
That's a good point.
If she was trying to help Nynaeve, she would have freed Egwene or Elaine. She knows Nynaeve can't channel when she wants to. She can't do it when she's scared. She can only do it when she's angry. And she didn't have enough time to be angry because she couldn't evaluate the situation. She was going to be scared first. She'll absolutely be angry in a little bit. But
I like the idea of them introducing the fact that, like, not all dark friends are friends. You know, like they kind of sow chaos within themselves a little bit. I feel like that was like a big part of the books almost.
Yes. I like that we get a lot of exposition about the Aiel. Hey, Matthew. I like we get a lot of Aiel exposition right here from Avi, and it's Aviendha. It makes sense, right?
When she says "I have toe," by the way, chills. I got chills. Like I was like, oh my god.
The Karn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even how she looks at him. Yeah.
Hearing them speak Wheel of Time words on screen, just like it's like every time I hear it sometimes.
Yeah, with the way she looks at him when he goes toe, and I'm sure she is thinking these wetlanders know nothing. Like they have no honor.
By the way, so yeah, my favorite scene is coming up in a second. It's like this whole bit is great, but it's specifically one thing I'll tell you when it comes up. So just to give an update on our timestamp, I think we should be at 44 seconds, just about 43:56.
It's got such
Should
a
be
great,
fun.
great smile.
Yeah, it's the smile. It's the smile. That's
It's the
the
smile.
scene. I considered using that. I have, and we'll see it when we go through my screen grabs at the end of the episode. I was considering, there it is right there. So I considered using that picture for the episode, but like the episode was called Damane, so I figured, all right, let's use at least Liandrin.
And camels. I pointed out to Brian, I was like, I don't think they ever mentioned camels in the books. I know we get elephants, but I was like, I like that. I like that they use camels. That makes sense. Because where would the camels have gone? Why wouldn't they be around?
Yeah.
I like how she doesn't doesn't make a comment about Hopper being there. It's just this random guy with these weird eyes is just hanging with his wolf. It's cool with me. I'm alive. They helped me. That's all that matters.
Right.
Yep.
Maybe she thinks all wetlanders have wolves as pets.
That would actually be
Oh
a
yeah.
funny little
I forgot about that. The human female, she does Ira Smart does the vocals for one of the human female voices for Baldur's Gate 3.
Whoa.
Yeah, I forgot which. There's 2 human female voices, and I just don't remember which one it is.
I can't wait to bring that fun fact back to the BingetownTV podcast.
Are you playing Baldur's Gate?
We are, yeah. Multiplayer was not working today. That was the plan before.
Oh.
That was the pregame for this, but it didn't work out for us.
That stinks. I mean, other than that, I think they've had a great launch of that game. It's been fantastic.
Oh yeah.
They've had since the launch, they've had a few hiccups with multiplayer. Beth and I actually have been. Beth recently had surgery on her knee, so she had to take a little break from streaming. But she's coming back now, and she said she was doing Tomb Raider tomorrow. But we were playing Baldur's Gate, like the 2 of us, and when it first came out, there were some issues with the multiplayer as well.
I feel like, I mean, especially with a game like as big as that, and how many people I'm sure are picking it up now.
Yeah.
You can only ask so much. I literally just bought a PlayStation 5 to play it, so
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I was like, it's time. It's gotta happen.
Yeah, it's so good. There's a character named Aludra in the game as well, and it's like someone that's responsible. It comes up when things are blowing up for some reason. I don't want to spoil anything, but I was like, I feel like maybe someone might have been a fan.
There was a fan on staff. Yep.
Sounds like they are.
Yeah.
I love Elaine.
Oh yeah, she's great. Kira Covini is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, she has
maybe very well.
6 lines an episode almost, but I feel like every time she opens her mouth, you learn so much about her as a character.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The when she first was on, I was afraid that they might try to make her like pompous a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
When with the room thing that was going on, but then they really redeemed her really fast, like showing that no, she really does care about people and like her subjects or however you want to do it. Like she doesn't put herself above them. She doesn't feel like she's above them.
I like Baron and Liandrin's interaction too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is the first time, besides maybe, I guess, well, definitely when we learn about her son and she's clearly on the back foot a little bit in that Nynaeve conversation. I feel like here is the first time we really see her maybe quote unquote flustered.
Well, she just wasn't expecting Baron. I think she just was like, I was not expecting her to be right there. like I'm sure the whole way back, like she's going over stuff in her head. Maybe she's questioning what she did, wonder, and then here's Baron pops up, and now I gotta act like I didn't just do anything terrible.
Mm-hmm. And Varen seems to be like have some sort of fame.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, well, because she was retired, right? In this world, she had retired to go write her history of the world. So her coming back I'm sure is a big deal.
But it was specifically when she walks in, I forgot to mention it before, when she walks into the room with Sheriam stands up and stays standing the entire time Varen is there until Varen sits down. And she's like, oh, you don't have to do that. And like it felt like that type of, like that she's standing out of respect for her. And like not just she's a retired artist. It felt more than that. It felt like maybe she had some sort of I don't know, like it almost felt like a retired Amerlin seat or something like that. But obviously that doesn't happen. So like, I'm not sure.
Right.
Like
So I wonder if in the books they're gonna touch, or in the show, if they're gonna touch on the whole like power ranking of how they do in
Mm-hmm.
the books. Like you have, if she's stronger than you need to show a little bit more respect. And I don't remember in the books what their strengths were, because that system always messed me up. There were too many
Yeah.
numbers. It's this, like it's this,
Yes.
but we got numbers in parentheses. Who's stronger?
Yeah.
On scale of 1 to 5, where do they?
I don't think
But I don't know
I
who it.
also-
what all the numbers meant.
Matthew, I also wholeheartedly agree. The numbers, are you talking about the companion numbers? Yeah, the numbers are how Robert
Well, didn't
Jordan
he
tracks
switch
the
it?
power in his notes.
Right. Right. And I was like, I don't, my brain must not work that way. Because, like, really, just a scale. Give me a sliding scale.
Yeah, and then it's
Stars.
weird
Rate 'em with
because
stars.
it's weird because he also gave it like it's like a 1 through 10, I think, but then there's another 4 spaces. Like he gives it's like a +1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like, or 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's.
To me, it was very much given Dungeons and Dragons vibes, and I don't play Dungeons and Dragons, but I feel like that's what it was. Like,
A little bit,
like
yeah.
somewhere he had 5 die, and he rolled them as like this.
Yeah,
Like, I just
yeah,
too many dice.
yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
If it's more than 2, I can't do it.
Morgaze is a CR1, and and Rand is a CR25 for people that play Dungeons and Dragons. That's the combat rating of monsters.
Yeah, see, that's a lot. That is a lot.
Yeah. And also, it looks like, so this is another, it's probably me just reading way too far into nonsense, but look at Avenire's like undergarment there, like the thing
black,
that she's wearing.
Lace.
What does that
black
look
lace.
like? Who was wearing that earlier in this episode?
Well, so this makes me want to go back to the Dark Friend social and like look at all the dresses for the little girls under the table and look and see. Because I think we talked about how they're not doing the slashes of color for the dresses, because maybe that would have been too easy of a giveaway.
Yeah, that's true. But that lace she's wearing is 100% looks like the one that Lanfear was wearing at the end of the last episode, in the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, and I guess right here she kind of plants the idea in Moraine's head, kind of that Rand can handle himself. So she's obviously working in Kyrian. We know that Lanfear picked Kyrian as her kind of quote unquote base of operations with the crescent moon.
Yep.
Is Lanfear like Mask of Mirroring herself right now?
I just had that. Oh, yeah.
No,
I was confused for a hot minute.
She touches Moiraine, and I feel like if she was Mask of Mirroring, she would have noticed. This part right here was a little creepy. Not gonna lie.
It was.
Like, don't kiss Yoshed. Don't do it. You're evil. You're an evil man. I don't want you sullying my dragon.
Well, I just was like, what is happening right now? Like, how did he get there? Like, I was confused.
Look at that face, though. Oh my god, the veins popping out. Oh my god, the veins popping out of her head. I was like, oh my god, this woman is crazy. This whole scene is fantastic. So, like literally my favorite scenes in out of all of the I definitely agree. So, like some of my favorite scenes in the entire series are Forsaken talking to each other, because you learn so much about stuff. Like he just said, they're running around with swords and queens battling them at each other. Like that, there's so much in that statement to unpack, just about like their society, that like, and how they think of the current society. I guess it hasn't happened yet, but the bit where he's like, will you betray me? And she's like, and like he's like super serious for a second, and then she's like, of course. Like
but that again, like just similar to the Dark Friend thing where they all kind of mess with each other. obviously the Forsaken do the same thing.
Yep.
It's honestly that's why
The
I
smile.
like the yes. That's why I like seeing the Forsaken talk to each other. Because like, who is lying? Who is lying the most? Like
Mhm.
y'all, like how could I just the amount of anxiety I would have? So he mentioned two female Forsaken. He did not mention Semirog,
Yeah.
but he said the boys.
Yeah, the boys. Rafe teasing us here.
Yes.
So seals. I'm not sure if these. So we got 2, 3 right
I think
there.
there were
I
three in
don't.
the back.
Yeah,
Well,
but
look, there's
I
the
think we
yeah.
get another shot here, and we get like maybe 1 or 2 more. Nah, there's only 3 there. Was there 4? No, yeah, okay. No,
I
wait,
think
there's
there's
one right
another
there.
on the other side.
Yeah, he
Yeah, there's
just
4.
walked past another one. So they're probably all in there, but those aren't seals. Those are just because this is his dream shard. These are just like representations of it in his mind.
I didn't even realize that's what they were. That is awesome.
Yeah.
They're the same statues that are in front of the Dark Friend Social. Like they're on the pedestals in front of the Dark Friend Social, but one is down on the floor because he hadn't freed Lanfear yet. It was just him.
So I am gonna go back to him named the Forsaken.
Yeah.
It sounded like that those Forsaken were also already released. Maybe
Oh, what up, Chris? Yeah, another new name. What's up, man? Yeah.
because
They basically did fencing. Like they used it as a sport.
right, because there was
Yeah.
no war during the
Yeah.
Age of Legends. But I mean, I am holding out because I really would like to see Semirog here. So I'm hoping maybe he's like these are the ones. Maybe he didn't mention her because he doesn't know where she is yet. Really,
Yeah.
maybe didn't know that she got. I don't know, but I really do want to see her. Just
Yeah. But Semirog was the World of Dreams person, and it seems they've given that
was it Semirog or
mantle.
was it Mogedion?
Oh no, it was Morgedian. Sorry.
Yeah, because she was the spider.
Yeah.
She liked to sneak around.
Yep, you're absolutely right. I'm just tired.
I know you are. I know.
Yeah.
I
think she
love that
looks
they gave us Shamiel's motivations here. I feel like that was a
Mhm.
crazy part in the later books where I like really started to
Right.
latch onto him as a character because he seemed more like focused. Like he is honestly in the show. He's not like the kind of insane guy rolling around in the first few books.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In the show, he seems much more calculated, and I was shocked that they gave it to us, but I really like it because I think I guess obviously it
Yeah,
makes a lot of
but
sense because it's what he does, but I feel like it's fun for people too that haven't even read the books.
Yeah.
yeah.
Christian.
Well,
Yeah, Christian. They basically they used fencing as a sport. They did
Mhm.
sport fencing, like just the same way they do it in like today. But they didn't fight with swords like they did like
no, there.
in any real way. Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
And even during the War of Power, they didn't really fight with swords like on the front lines. They were using shock lances and
yeah, they had different technology. Now, there was a game that they played with the poison daggers,
But
which I was like, why would you do that? That was during Age of Legends.
Well, no, but that was also during like after the Dark Friend, the Dark One was freed when the world started getting corrupted. Yeah, they didn't play that game during the normal Age of Legends.
Okay.
That was like a pit fighting because you got to remember the War of Power lasted like 150 or 160 years.
Yeah, it did.
So like, that's a more than enough time to establish like a tradition of playing sports. You know what I mean? That's like 3 human generations.
Wow.
Non-channeler. I said human, but non-channeler. And I love the addition of this Aes Sedai. Not that Nynaeve and Elaine aren't badasses, but I really don't think that they would have been able to successfully stay in Falm and avoid the Shanshan as little as they were trained without help of someone like her and her warder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Min was with them in the books. Min.
But that's not like that much of a help.
But I will say the Min is more worldly than any of them. Like she would at least know how to move about in the city.
Yeah, that's true.
They also seem the Shanshan feel much more intimidating and like a force in this
Yep.
city of Falm here. So it feels more believable that they would have a little help.
And that's why they killed Uno. Rafe said it in his bit. You know, they needed them to be fucking terrifying. Those were his words exactly. He wanted us to hate them and be scared of them, and I think he accomplished that.
Yeah. I think next episode too. I'm sure we'll get
rough.
into it, but oh god.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be bad.
And there's your collar for all the haters.
Yep.
There's your collar.
Yeah, and the
leash.
but the fact that they've cleaned her up, they've braided her hair to present her to the High Lord.
Well, she's like she's an animal. Yeah, she's an animal.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like braiding a horse's mane to them.
Yep.
That face right there. I was also going to use that image for Damane episode, but in our thing that we got, we couldn't reveal certain things. So like that, her being collared was one of them. So like I couldn't use that image.
Like I always try. I just don't want any level of a spoiler.
Yeah.
I would feel way too bad.
Yeah.
Because I know to me, I'm like, yeah, that's the shot right there. Like I love that, but it's there's
So
someone
we
who
have to
doesn't know what's
remember,
going on.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people watching this that didn't even know the books existed. We don't want to again ruin the magic for them.
Yeah. Being able to be surprised by the Wheel of Time again is such a treat for me.
It's wonderful.
But like for other people, it's great too.
Yeah. And I like this exposition. We learn more about Lanfear and everything.
And it's funny too, like something like that, where that was a reveal that her ex was the Dragon Reborn. And obviously as a reader, I'm watching, I'm like, it's obvious throughout the beginning of this season that she's talking about Luce there in Telamon. But speaking to the show only people on our podcast, and they were like, one of them guessed that it was the dragon, and the other one was like, oh, it was obviously the dark one was her ex. And I just was laughing just thinking about that as a concept. And it's just fun again, like being surprised by the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, that's a great point. I didn't even think about like that being a reveal for the non-book readers. I didn't consider that even, and obviously it is, but like I just didn't even think about it.
And I just every time he makes certain faces, and I'm like, that's Anakin Skywalker.
That's interesting, Norman Garden. We know they have the bracelet, so I think it'll be the same where it's like a specific bracelet controls a specific collar. It's just that the leash isn't an actual like physical connection. It's more of a
it was. He did just have it at least did come out of the back of her collar and go to the bracelet.
She hooked that on her. That's the punishment leash. That's the we're training you leash.
And this last
scene. And here we get now we get our infamous Rand on the Seven Spoke Wheel scene, which again I was right about is Tel'aran'rhiod. I mean, obviously it was going to be Tel'aran'rhiod, but I've been saying that since we saw it. Though I do
love... looks incredible here. Yeah, she looks amazing.
Goth Cher. Yeah, she looks great. But I love how we got like a little shot of like this scene, but from pulled way back. And the shape of her headpiece is similar to the shape of Suroth's headpiece. So like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, maybe Suroth is there, but no, they got me with that one.
So one thing Tom didn't guess right out of all the many things he's guessed correctly.
All right, so we're gonna get ready. We're gonna switch over to full book spoilers. So if anyone is watching that has not read the entire series and does not want to be spoiled on anything, go ahead and bounce out now. But we are going to switch over to full book spoilers. And I just have to use this because I love her.
Spoiler alert.
I love getting to use kitty, my kitty memes that I have in there. So, what are your thoughts on this episode, Kyle?
It's tough. It's almost every time I watch an episode now, it's like that's the best episode of the season. I really think I believe it with this one, just the combination of it has everything that I kind of want and like about the Wheel of Time. I feel like the Forsaken were menacing. You know, there's so much lore and world building that gets dropped, which is awesome for us because we're like, oh, they're doing it, they're saying it, you know, and then it's also fun for like my friends when we're talking about the show of like they're learning about this king that was going to, you know, burn down the White Tower essentially and made that's why we have the oaths. And it's like, well, are we going to learn about this king guy? And it's maybe we will, maybe we won't. And it's just, I loved this episode.
And I feel like every episode this season so far, we've seen a new depth of a lot of the characters, like more depth to Moiraine especially when she killed those horses, and Liandrin and Nynaeve. Like and maybe not Egwene, but we've seen some depth to the character of Egwene, but like Madeline's acting is like, I mean, not that it was bad in season 1 because it was great in season 1, but like, oh my God, like the stuff that we're getting from her in this season has been great. Also, did you pick up on that she didn't use her hands at all when
Yeah, it's just I feel like they've been doing a great job of honestly a combination of showing us things and telling us things. Like when they tell us things, like with the Aviendha and parent scene, like they're just giving us all of this sweet lore that we love so much, but it doesn't feel like awkward or out of place. And then like they're just showing us things like that with the Egwene is, you know, they're showing us that she's growing in her use of the power, but they don't need to smack us over the head with it of someone walking up to her and being like, you are getting stronger. You know, so it's been really good. It's been really good.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring our screenshots up that we have, and there we go. I think. Can we see? Oh no, they came out. Oh, there we go. Now they're there. Okay. So I like the screenshots that we have are basically kind of in timeline order of the episode. So I don't think there's too much to go into this scene, but like, is there anything?
I had spike trauma. I don't even like seeing these spikes after Uno's death that are on everything.
The spike trauma. I think we need to hashtag that. Hashtag spike trauma. I like the Shanshin garb. Like the costuming is great. The exoskeleton feel and like the mantis feel to Surath is cool.
My only take is that I think that Loyal and Ingtar is a very interesting pair.
Yep. Also, another thing I was right about that everyone was pissed about. They're Dakavale, so yeah. Everyone's pissed. Why would Loyal be there? Why would he be walking with it? Because he was taken as a slave, obviously. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And I forgot her name, but Surath's voice over there, and I forgot the actress's name as well. That is the guy Roberts Uno. That's his. I want to say partner. I think it's his girlfriend. Like, I don't think they're married. I'm not sure, but I think we'll say it's his partner. And they gave her the role because she was like around already, and she was already there with Guy, and they needed somebody, and she was like, she's already an actor, and she's got a great voice, and she's got a great look, so they were like, yeah, it's her. Thank you, Jessica Boone and Alwyn. Thanks. See, I don't know. So if you haven't watched that much of our stuff, Kyle, Noman Garden is like he's like our right hand almost a little bit.
Yeah, he seems like an encyclopedia.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's on par with everything, and he keeps me honest because I always confuse things, and he keeps me honest.
Yeah,
I appreciate
feel like
him for that.
I can never do enough research before we record because I know that they're gonna ask me a question that I just like trying to solve as I like frantically type away on my laptop to give them the answer, especially because it's also I can just read all of the comments of like, how could you not know that blah 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 blah.
Yeah, that's why I don't research. All y'all are getting is what I happen to retain from several rereads.
I like that.
That's why I just preempt it with, it's been a long time, y'all.
Yeah. Yep. Let's go to the next picture. I have to say that, by the way, because the lovely Erin will switch to the next picture for us. Thank you very much, Erin. This look that I caught this one with the look that Ishamael gave Surath and was like,
yeah.
I thought that was I thought that was a really crappy, like, or not crappy, but like dumb move on Surath's part, like
to look over at him.
Yeah, and look for like, you know, permission or like, you know.
Well, you know, it's because she thinks she must be high ranking because he's there with her, and she's like, "Is this it? Is this when you're going to strike down all my enemies?" And he's like, "No, kneel.
Yeah,
now is not the time."
Yeah, that's definitely what she was hoping for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing is I love his, like, again, the costuming this season has been great. Like, his vest is so unique. I can't tell if it's like, it looks exoskeleton-y again, like insect-like. Maybe it could be Shanshin garb, but it also, maybe it's something from the Age of Legends again that he's wearing. Who knows?
I'm sure he's got a stasis box somewhere.
just full of wardrobe.
His wardrobe, yeah, it's his wardrobe. He seems like the type.
Yeah. Let's skip to the next one. Yep. That's a great question, Christian. I'm not sure. I don't. You know, she does know that he can channel, so that could be a giveaway. She does know he's way above her. So
right. Yeah. Because he does say to her, "I know why you swore your oaths," and I wouldn't think that a dark friend the same level as her would know that.
Yeah,
and she does kind of.
She's there at the Dark Friend social, and unless her like ears were plugged by like a weave of air, he kind of talks to the little girl.
She was.
Yeah.
Yeah, she knows who he is. Yeah.
I totally blanked on that. Yeah. She definitely knows that he is a Forsaken, and Ishamael.
Oh, and that's right. Arosa says she says to him, he may be a chosen, but she's not. He's not one of the blood. So yeah, she absolutely knows.
Right, yeah. So she's definitely getting above herself there too. Like, did you just say that you know they existed before your blood, the whole concept, even the person that you base yourself on existed, right? You know that, right?
Also, he could take all her blood. So
yeah, literally.
Just saying.
Just shows how delusional the Shanshan are.
Yeah. Like the level of narcissism that takes.
Yeah.
We'll skip to the next one. And we could just keep going there. We don't have to. Yeah. We don't have to. I mean, I liked his face, so I was like, oh, that's interesting. He has like a little. He has a soul patch. We haven't seen that yet. Oh yeah, let's take a look at his soul patch. Yeah. They do have stellar makeup skills. The Shanshan, both the men and the women.
Yep.
Oh, apparently I took a lot of photos of these nails. We can go to the next scene. We don't have to stay on the Surath. I was feeling very cinematic when I was pulling these images. Apparently,
I mean,
look at
I don't know what it's like to have long nails, but I feel like if you took all the time to grow them, I think I would also be quite upset.
Yeah.
Loyal thinking he should have never left the steady. Like he's like, I should have listened.
Yeah, maybe.
Armin and my mother. He is just like, this is. I was hasty. I was too hasty. I should have stayed where I was.
Zoom in on that woman right there. Her whole head is shaved.
Yep.
That's hair on top, though. That is braid. That is braided hair on top.
Right. So what I'm thinking is, and I'm pretty sure this is the same from the book as well, is that basically the less hair you have on your head, the more royal you are.
Yes. Yep.
So I wonder who this woman is.
Good question.
Because she has less hair than Surath. Obviously, Turok's head is completely shaved. But here's another example. If we zoom in on Intar's face, of them dressing up like their property.
Their pets. Yeah.
Yep. they put this little accoutrement on his head, and they gave him eyeshadow, and yeah, looks like they trimmed
Nice
his beard
little
too.
ruffled collar.
Yep.
Yeah. But Tom, you mentioned in the last episode how Maureen's sister had the hair piece, and I noticed a lot of the Sean-Chan do. So yes, maybe when they bring Cotswain in, that'll just nobody's going to think anything of it, right? Of her wearing her net.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Having
we've
the
seen it a
hairnets,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we've seen
So
like
it doesn't
just
look
what
weird when Cat
right. It
comes
won't
in with
stand
it.
out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Just a little lace. That's funny. And there's my man. There's my man.
So cocky. He's so cocky right now. Just like
he's so great.
Yeah.
Let's get up to the Turok one when he has the box
horn?
actually open. Yeah. Oh, I guess I didn't grab that one. So yeah, and again, a lot of these are like I've brightened. No, stay on Lanfear. I brightened up these as much as I could, but for apparently they took a page out of HBO's book with Game of Thrones with some of the scenes, but this is the exact scene where she says "bitch." By the way, I recorded it, like I screen recorded it, and then I put it in Premiere and I froze it. Like I went frame by frame until I saw the spike when she said it. And I'm like, that's the face. All right.
That's just great. I just think the true power looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do we think, I was going to say, do we think that she somehow used the true power to heal herself? That the Dark One used the true power to heal her, or that just embracing the true power enabled the Dark One to use his effect to like keep her alive? Like, I'm not sure what it is.
I am going to say that I know in the books they had to have his permission. Basically, he had to give them permission. I don't think we're necessarily going that route this time. I think maybe it was a gift to them. Maybe this is the only thing they can access it for.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like they can't just use it all
Heal
over
themselves.
the place. Yeah, it's just to heal themselves. I mean, kind of like he doesn't have time to go snatch souls and bodies and whatnot. I'm gonna give you this little bit of it, so when your throat gets slit, you can heal it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're mixing Lanfear and Semiraj, or if they're just taking the Forsaken they cut out and breaking them up and mixing them up. Like, I know that Mogideon, like you said earlier, Mogideon is the
spider, the one in the world of dreams.
And
and they mentioned her.
Dreams, but they gave that
to Lanfear.
Yeah, so maybe they
yeah.
took that away from Mogideon, and they're giving Mogideon another piece of the, from another Forsaken. Maybe, and my theory from the beginning was that I hope they kind of, let's go to the next picture, that they give Demandred Agonor's storyline, because and this is right. It took me forever. I was trying to get the scene exactly when his head popped off, but like the next frame is when his head pops off. You can't actually. His head is never really on screen for it. It's just there and then not there, and a little bit of blood for a second.
I didn't make this connection watching it, but seeing it on the internet afterwards of just like a teaser preview for Dumai's Wells got me very excited thinking about this.
Yep. And especially even in episode 1 of season 1 when Moiraine rips the Trolloc in half. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like my theory, my wacky theory on that is that yes, he's going to be the one teaching Rand instead of Asmodean, and the way we're going to get it is we're actually going to bring up Nynaeve healing being stilled. Moiraine is actually stilled. She'll heal her, or she'll heal Logain by accident first, and then Logain will have the one power to teach Rand. But that's my wacky theory on that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm right.
Like you kind of can be in like one of two camps of if they mentioned their name in season 1 in the Steppen episode with all like the statues,
Yeah.
and everything. Like, is that saying they're going to be in the show? Feel like for me, I'm going to hold on to that just because I like pretty much all of the Forsaken characters.
Me too.
So I hope, because I feel like if Asmodean doesn't teach Rand, then he's not going to be in the show at all.
That's what I said last week when we were talking about is like, what else would he do? Like, that was his whole entire role, unless they're going to have to give him something from another Forsaken. But I mean, I liked the fact that he was absolutely the joke of the Forsaken to the Forsaken. Like, that even they looked at him as like, why are you here, dude? Like, really? Because you did not come to your full talent as a musician. That's why you're doing this.
Yeah.
It's also fun to show the range.
Right. So making him Rand's teacher gave him at least a little bit more of a reason to be around.
Yeah.
Right. So if he's not doing that, I can't imagine that they would even, unless he was the one that really was accidentally trapped. Like, you weren't even supposed to be here today. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I just love that in the books, that reveal in book 4 was just, like, so crazy to me. I feel like that the 4th book is my favorite book. Cliche answer, I guess, but it just that was a huge part of it. Yeah.
The only Forsaken I don't like at all is, I mean, I don't like any of them as people, but like the only storyline I don't like at all is Damane. Like, I feel like, again, like, I know the Sharans at the end were cool, but I way too rushed, and I just feel like it was haphazardly done. But it's not that. It's his story, every other part of his story. The reason why he turned to the shadow, his lack of any presence in the entire series, like, he's just so, like, two-dimensional.
I mean, yeah.
And Agenor, on the other hand, who dies immediately, like, has such a cooler backstory. Like, he created the Shadow Spawn. Like, I would love to see the flashback of him doing whatever he did to try to figure out Trollocs and shit. Like, that would be so much cooler.
Like, all the reject Trollocs, like, what on earth would they look like if they didn't look like a Trolloc?
Noman Godin said that maybe Damane will take over the Shanshan instead of doing the Sharan. So that would be cool, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I know in the books it was it Moghedien? Because Moghedien is the one that appeared as light and shadow, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and she was the one.
First of all, hello, Roof Mistress. Another new name in chat. That was Moghedien that they have.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a great one, Christian. He asked, his original ask was that he wanted to compose music forever. So, like, he was a child prodigy, and then, like, as most child prodigies that don't, like, really
don't have to work that hard for it.
Yeah, he wasn't able to keep that up as he got older. So, like, he fell out of fame, and he wanted to be better again. So, like, that's kind of why he turned to the shadow, which is
and get rid of all the other artists. He wanted to be the only one.
Yeah. And fun fact: Asmodean would cut the thumbs off of all of the artists in the cities that he took over. Not just musicians, artists, all of them, painters, sculptors, everybody. So we've had Perrin up on the screen for like an hour and we haven't talked about him. This is when he was yelling at Elias about, you don't
know who my pack is.
Yeah, I'm not a wolf. Yeah. So we can keep going from here. The
the baby.
Yep, there's the goodest boy with his big eyes. It's fantastic.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Poor confused Rand. Just like I don't know what's happening, God.
Yeah.
It's just just thinking about up until this point, he was like, okay, I killed the Dark One. Like, at least that part is out of the way. Now I just gotta focus on not killing anyone.
Right. I got this good looking older lady friend that I'm sure has shown him some tricks. He's got a little job he's fulfilled.
I felt like this was the part because this is when this was right after Maureen told him we didn't kill the Dark One. So like I felt like this was when he felt that I have to save the world bit settle back on his shoulders again.
Yeah. 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 That little bit of
Like
a tear in his eye.
He's looking back toward where he just left with Lanfear, and he's like, oh, that was so much better. That was so much better than this right there.
I wish she hadn't showed up, Moraine. Just let it happen.
Yeah.
It's also such an interesting thing that everyone thinks he's dead. You know, Perrin.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes.
It's going to be so wild to have them reunited and that be a thing.
Yeah. That when they see that he's alive, it's going to be fantastic. I'm like, they're going to be simultaneously angry and happy. And it's just going to drive another wedge between like Egwene, Nynaeve, and Moiraine. It's going to drive a wedge between Nynaeve and Lan, because like Lan is not like Nynaeve won't believe that Lan didn't know.
Oh, that poor man! You're so right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Let's keep going because these are really dark. Let's get to a brighter one. This is just him with his dog. Let's just get to like a different scene.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Ono.
Yeah. Oh, that was when he told him to lay down. So yeah, there's a good one of Dane. Like, yeah, and I'm not entirely sure if he was hiding that he was a White Cloak or if he was just like, I thought he was in the beginning to like fish for like, how is this man gonna react when he sees a White Cloak, and then I can hide that I'm a White Cloak. But I'm not entirely convinced that was it.
I don't. It's not the vibe that he was giving me at all. I mean, so I don't know. It doesn't seem like he is the gung ho White Cloak necessarily. Like, this is my job. I'll do my job. And yes, I do believe some of these things, but I don't think he feels like he's somebody that good people should fear.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Where Valda seems like he wants everybody to be scared of him. Like,
oh yeah.
Let me judge you and then decide whether or not you should be scared.
I feel like they clearly contrasted the two of them in this scene, and I feel like it would be interesting for Dane. And I know, Tom, you said that maybe he'll be the good White Cloak, but I think it'll be maybe more compelling if we see him slowly become more of that stereotypical White Cloak.
Yeah, and I think we will see that, especially after his father dies. For a little while, at least. If he does end up being the redeemable one, at least for a while, he's gonna descend. Whether it's with the drinking, like they did it, like they did in the book, or if it's just with anger at Perrin, we'll have to see. But like it would work, especially even toward the end of the book the end of the series when Perrin went for that trial. Like Dane was there. Dane represented. So like to have him be there still for that again would, I think he could fit there.
I think they've already set him up.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, I think they've already set him up to kind of be the rebel. It made me think of like a preacher's kid. He's kind of grandfathered into this life, but maybe doesn't necessarily buy into it. Yeah.
He gave Daio water.
Yep.
Yeah. He clearly has a good heart, at least at this point in his journey. It's just interesting to think about how they're going to handle characters like that, where they're in book 2, 3, and then book 10, book 11.
Yeah.
And we'll see how they kind of try to keep them afloat so that we're not like scrambling and 8 years from now in season 6 of like, who is this man who's playing this big role now in this scene?
Honestly, I think they're just not going to do that. Like, I think the only character that they may do that with is going to be Rosamund Pike and Moiraine if they kill her and bring her back like they did in the books. I don't think they'll do that with anyone else.
I feel like they're going to do. Well, I feel like they are doing it with Tom. I think.
Yeah.
That was an accident.
True.
Yeah, that was because after since all the timing got messed up with COVID, he was doing the 1899 show, but then it got canceled. So
but I mean, I think it works in well because again, when Rand and Matt do see Tom again, it's going to be another one of those things.
Yeah,
it's going to be another great reunion, and I do hope that at some point Tom kind of takes Rand off with him somewhere. Yeah. He doesn't need to fall in love with Moraine, though. They could leave that out if they want.
I don't think that and the Gareth Bryn thing is coming into it. Like I really felt like both of those were so forced, and it was just like, oh, these women need a man. I got like whiplash
the first time I read, like reading the books the first time and realizing that
Right.
Tom and Moraine were in a romantic thing, and I was shocked. I had no idea.
So I will say that after reading it and then going back and rereading it, like with a lot of things, you can pick up on maybe little things here and there. It just should have been stronger.
Yeah.
It is
was just,
almost
little
like
comments like, "Oh, she's a hell of a woman."
right. Right. There were little comments in there where you could. And there wasn't enough to convince me necessarily that Moraine was looking at this old man like that, but definitely this old man was looking at Moraine like that, right? So there was not enough, and I understand Aes Sedai to play everything close to the chest, but there could have been a few more details because we kind of got them all at once. So that could have been done almost like Robert Jordan was like, I think I'm going to do this, and then never mind, I'm not going to do this, but no, maybe I will do this. That's what it felt like.
The Valder looked great. I just like his armor. And let's zoom in on the sunburst. That I think
like
it's
at the hook?
Yeah, it's supposed to be the shepherd's hook. Yeah, it's just
yeah,
it looks
squiggly.
Yeah, it looks squiggly. That was the only thing that looked kind of weird.
Hmm.
I'm not sure. All right. Yeah, it looks like a snake. That's what I thought, Sparkle's friend.
Yeah.
The let's go to the next one. And I think we could just go right to the next scene too. Because I did like
Look
these
at
guys.
that
That's a good face. Oh yeah, there we go. I got a shot of Varen eating there. Yeah. Well, he is cute. Like, look at this. Hold on. I got one of my favorites that I clipped was
Dana's coming.
And
dark friends beware.
Oh, that's great.
He's not a bad looking dude, and I feel like you don't hire this incredibly good looking man to be like a one-off side character that barely gets any screen time. That's why I really think they're going to make him the redeemable White Cloak. Anyway, yeah, Varen, the eating shot of Varen is fantastic. We can keep going though. And I love this shot here. Just like I feel like if we could just see a few more books in this shot, it would be the perfect brown image. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, poor Nynaeve.
I know.
She just wants
taking
to
all
protect
nap.
everybody. But she just like all she wants deep in her soul is to protect everybody, and everything in the universe is working against her right now.
All right, we can keep going.
And these two ladies just knocked out.
Yeah, no idea what's going on. Gene, she owe me a Coke.
I'll need the address.
I think they did a great job with Surath here. She looks really good, and she looks like, while at the same time like looking like beautiful, like looking very good, she looks intimidating and like a little frightening.
Yes.
It's the way they did the makeup on her eyes to look sunken like that, and then and her eyebrows are shaved, so her face almost looks like skullish a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, it makes her brows much more prominent, like the fact that she doesn't have the eyebrows there.
Yeah, we can keep going. Yeah, that's too dark. Just keep going. There's the better picture a second anyway. Yep. Keep going. I want to get to the action shots. Oh, right where there it is.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah, that was oh god, that scene. When she put the veil up, I got goosebumps. Just got goosebumps again thinking about the scene and seeing this image. It was so good.
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing a lot of that.
And the little smile she gives beforehand.
Do you like to dance, Paranaibara?
I also like that she says his full name, because that was something they did in the books, because Aiel don't have last names. So they were just saying people's full names because they didn't understand first name, last name.
Yeah, more. I'm not sure why she she knocked them out. I think it was mainly because there's 3 of them, and it would be hard to take control of them if they needed to. And
they're all stronger than she is in theory.
Yeah,
I mean,
So
technically,
being able to knock them out, then drug them and shield them, I think was just a way to to ensure that she wasn't going to have any issues with them.
And if you remember in the books, they at this point, I think the girls might have suspected, but I don't think they really understood that Liandrin was dark because they went with her willingly in
Yeah,
the
Yep.
books.
yeah,
Yeah, in
yeah.
the
She
books,
convinced them to
they
go with
right,
the same carrot of your friends being in trouble,
right,
but
you're
I don't think they
right.
would have trusted her
So
here.
right, but with this, she was betting on it just being Nynaeve, maybe Nynaeve and Egwene, because she very obviously, and in the book, she wasn't expecting Elaine
Oh
either.
yay! What's up, Dana Lou? Yay! I've been getting I've been seeing some posts on social media of people getting their cards. Yeah, that's exciting. So for those who don't know, we did an 11-hour live stream where we gave away a bunch of swag, and I sent the first batch of swag out into the world. So people should be getting their stuff, all like over the next week. Some of it went international, so that's going to take a little longer.
But that's exciting.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Let's keep going. I think I have a picture when we get a good shot of her lace too later.
Yeah.
That
Maureen.
smile.
Yeah. Look at that face. Look at that face.
That is a great one.
Yeah. I love Rosamund Pike, man. She's been so great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh God. And there's the oh shit, you got me. That was right when Vern was like, it's odd that you wouldn't remember her leaving. and then that was right was she's trying to come up with a lie.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun scene to look back on, obviously, when we get if we get the real Sheriam reveal.
Yeah, I love that. Do you? Oh no! Sorry, I interrupted you. Finish what you were saying.
No, you're perfect. You were going to ask the question I think that I was going to ask. So go ahead.
No, it wasn't. I was going to say something about Jessica. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I hope they do it. Although it's going to take a long time, but I feel like they have been dropping the hints for it, but just enough to push you like a little bit the other way. And it's going to be fun to like kind of have all of these notes from all these seasons. Like she did this.
Yeah.
And you thought it was a different way.
Yeah. I'm hoping they save that reveal for way later. Like, because I remember when that hit me, I was like, oh my God. Cause I've always loved Sheriam, like for the most part.
Yeah. I just reread book 3 and I guess the scene with like the gray man and she's the one that's there after like it happens and she doesn't question the body or anything, and I think Nynaeve or someone like has a quick thought about it, and I completely missed that on my first like 2 rereads, and then it just again there's little things. It's just that's why I love this stuff.
I mean, you've got to read it several times, because also there's so many books you legit forget what happened in book 2 by the time you get to book 10, and unless you got little sticky notes, you can't go back and check. Like you're in the story.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's jump to the next one. Yeah, there we go. That was a good shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it looks like she has tattoos inside of her ear.
Yeah, well. I was wondering about. I don't know if it's tattoos or actually a piece of jewelry.
Or if it's like
no, it's a jewelry. Because
Turok has them too.
Yeah, and the women of the Westlands have like the ear cuff on the outer edge, and they wear like stylized hearing aids. I guess I don't know. Like. It's interesting. It's just that's an interesting choice as a piece of jewelry.
But they're doing such a good job of making the Shan-Chan so different.
Yeah.
From everybody else. Like
I wonder if that's playing with the idea of voice, like they're clogging up their ears.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because we were talking about how they wanted to focus on having why having a voice was so important. That's why the Damane have the things in their mouth. They don't count. They don't have a voice.
What that's up, why they don't have fool? That's great. It's their Bluetooth headset. It's fantastic.
I mean,
and there's that. Yeah, there's the image that I used for the
steely grin or steely gaze.
Her freaking my.
Kay Fleetwood is fantastic.
Yeah, look at that. It's like, oh God, she can fucking her face. And that was right as she was cutting the bonds. Mm-hmm. Her little and a little smirk. There's we got a lot of little smirks this episode. Little knowing smirks. I don't have the gif of this, but in this scene, while they're not doing the same thing here, because you see like the Suldam has her hands like, she's holding her hand like this, and the Damane is, kind of hands her arms like over each other like that. They do the movements at the exact same time.
Mm-hmm.
And in the exact same, like, it looks like they're about to do the same thing, but they're different. So the synchronicity of that is really cool. I don't think Christian. Let me know what you guys think. I don't think that they know.
Mm-mm.
No.
There's a specific line, and I don't remember the exact line from this episode that I think you're talking about, Christian, where when they talk about the Suldam being trained to use the one power, but I think the way that they're talking about it is using the one power through the Damane, and I don't think
because that is what they are essentially. They're linking is what they're doing. Is they're linking with them and taking control, but they don't know that that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
which I find interesting because it was an Aes Sedai that created the collar. Like, I feel like that might be some propaganda that they, that in the beginning, the Shan-Chan people who took it, like, knew. They knew that because I am sure she would have had to, she would have to have figured it out. Like, it's just a forced link. So I feel like at some point somebody knew that.
Yeah, more. They had her shielded and tied up with air, so they could do whatever they want to her.
But she's probably unconscious while they're.
That too, they could just knock her unconscious. So,
And I will say. Oh, go ahead.
The collaring and the leashing is just like very ceremonial. Like, I think that was a big.
Yeah,
they wanted to do that as a gesture in front of.
Right, because they were giving her to him also. But I will say, being the mother of 2 girls, sometimes it's easier to do hair when they're asleep. I'm just saying, it's easier to put braids in when they are asleep.
Fair enough. I like how we could see here they have two Damane also working to shield her because of how strong she is, which I think kind of X's out our thoughts. And I know a lot of people had this thought that maybe the blonde Damane here was Olivia, but like if she needed help shielding her, then it's not Olivia, obviously.
I do have a question that I thought about. Why didn't the Damane like alert that Liandrin had embraced the power? Like in the show, that's
a good question. I don't know.
Does Liandrin know how to mask it? So fast? Well, because I feel like if she's been dealing with Ishi the way it seems she has, maybe that is something he taught her, because certainly that's something they knew how to do, how to or I don't even know if they'll get into that in the show, but that would be my assumption, that would be my go-to answer for that, is that she knew how to mask it, and that's why they didn't.
The whatchamacall, I like this idea too, Noman Garden, that it's that it wasn't like a command for the Damane, because they don't need to say anything to them for them to pick up on what they're doing, but more is a warning to the troops. That's interesting.
That's true, Arosa. She was already channeling, so they wouldn't have necessarily noticed anything.
Valid point.
Yeah. And if they were just and if Surath was okay with her channeling already, why bring it up? Let's keep going to the next scene. There. Yeah, now we're gonna get my good. Yeah, just jump to my favorite picture out of this bunch, Aaron. I think you're gonna know which one it is. Almost. That's a good one.
I like that one.
Hold on, this one's good too. Yeah,
I've seen that look too. I've seen that look too.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
That's my favorite one.
Oh,
I will say I see my Aviendha do that look too, and it's my favorite one from her. So.
Yeah. That's such a great shot of Ayula. Like, and
it's such an innocent smile. Like it's like truly happy. You know what I mean? Like she's
genuinely with mirth.
Yeah.
And this is just another one, classic Wheel of Time, where we learn a lot in this scene, and we'll be, season 8 when that comes out in 10 years, we'll be moving back to this scene. Like, we will be talking about this scene and what we learned. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's
I love it.
It's gonna be great.
And that's classic, Wheel of Time. Like that's like, Robert Jordan's foreshadowing throwbacks. Like, yeah, it's great. I don't remember what was happening here with Varen.
I was gonna say, I think she's talking to
the
Liandrin.
confrontation.
This is when she's talking to Liandrin. Yeah, let's keep going though. There's not too much here.
Oh,
there we go. There's the
lace.
shot that I was
There's the
talking
lace.
about with the lace. Yeah, I knew I had that. That looks. I cursing myself right now that I didn't go and get the shot of Lanfear with the lace on as well. But if it isn't the same, like almost the exact same garment, it's very, very similar, at the very least.
And also, I mean, that seems purposeful.
Yeah.
Well, the juxtaposition between Maureen being in white and her having that.
Oh my God, I didn't even pick that up.
Too.
Yes. All right, that's it. I'm 100% convinced that she's a dark.
That's a good look. That's a good face she's making.
Yeah, that's like she's giving her side eye there. That's pretty hard side eye too. She's got these. I don't know. There's something going on there. Oh yeah, creepers. He's total creeper. He's a total creeper. I love him and also hate him at the same time. And then we have veins bursting out of the side of her head there.
That's a good shot of her.
Yeah. She's Natasha O'Keeffe as Lanfear is perfect. She's absolutely stunning and also completely batshit crazy at the same time. She pulls them both off perfectly.
It's so fun now, though, that she's Lanfear, not Selene. The rules is fun, but now that it's out there in the world, now it's obviously the gloves are off.
Face. I loved this. She's like, absolutely.
Yep. I also liked this shot. Like it really makes me feel like they're framing them to get like they're about to fight. Like that's what this looks like, and I feel like that's just going to be like a foreshadow of her working against the Forsaken later on to kind of help Rand.
She looks
like she does in the books.
Yeah, but she looks so disinterested in whatever he is saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, so those are faces I feel like Avi makes when she's in another room and I'm lecturing her. Like, I know that's what she's doing. She's making that face.
Yeah. Ishamael really does like his fireplaces. He's got quite the interior decoration sense. Oh my God. And again, Goth Cher right here. Absolutely fantastic. I got to thank Rajiv for that, though. That's Rajiv Mote, one of our. He writes articles for us over on Dragonmount.com, and he is on our podcast, which you can get over on our YouTube. But yeah, no, totally amazing costume, and this is her. So this is Lanfear in a dream shard, and this is how she wants to look. So this is Lanfear. This is her style, and I like that. Yeah.
Now, do you think we're gonna open next episode and like with this as the opening scene?
Oh God, sorry, she's just beautiful. I don't think this will be the cold open. Maybe it could. I don't know. I was thinking maybe we would get a different cold open and then it would cut to this, but I don't see. There's not like a super strong point for that to be the case.
So Christian Rapper brought up a good point that I think we've all forgotten. Lanfear prefers white. Remember they said that she wore white just because Semiraj always wore black?
Yeah, that's true. Well, if we don't have a Semiraj, this
doesn't matter. Yeah.
this could be Rafe's way of telling us.
Yeah, that she is going to take on that role. Because they did talk about her being cruel, right? And I don't know that in the books Lanfear was ever called cruel necessarily the way Semiraj was. Because we all know that was it. That was all she had. Like, no, she was very smart. I take it back. She was smart, but she was cruel. But if we're gonna dial up Lanfear's cruelness, because then maybe we're not getting Semiraj.
Okay.
That'll be interesting to see how they handle Rand losing his hand. Then, obviously, you can do it in other ways. It's just I don't think. I mean, Lanfear doing it would be crazy, but it maybe would be too much of like a 180 pivot.
Yeah. Fair. I mean, but also Anakin Skywalker losing a hand.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the most shocking things when I read the books. I was like almost like borderline upset. I was like, no,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
No.
What do you mean he has one
So-
hand? Yeah.
So here's the thing. Reading that book, I tend to get very emotionally attached. Like, I watched all of Dragon Ball Z because my husband was watching it. Like, the first one was like, well, what's happening to these babies? I need to make sure that these children are okay. So much anxiety throughout this. I had trouble watching Stranger Things because I'm like, these kids, what is happening? Where are their parents? So yeah, no, I get way too attached. So yes, when stuff like that happened in the book, I would I need a drink. Like, I need a shot.
Yeah.
Like, I need that or some Xanax or something. Because
Thank you, Matthew. We'll see you later.
Bye,
See you next week.
Matthew.
Yes, and it is we had so much fun tonight. We're way later than we usually are, 11 o'clock. But
Such a good episode.
yeah, thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. So before you go though, what's coming up next? Let's hear some plugs. I want to what's your next release for your podcast at the very least?
So the next episode is obviously going to be Wheel of Time, but beyond Wheel of Time, I don't know. I mean, so we're big like Mike Flanagan fans. So like the Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor. So I think the Fall of the House of Usher is his like last Netflix show that will be coming out. So I believe we'll be covering that in the month of October. And then we have no idea. Percy Jackson comes out like mid-December.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and I loved those books as a kid, so I will definitely be doing that. And I don't know. I've been like low key, and a few of us on the podcast. So technically, there's 7 of us. Just 4 of us do Wheel of Time. The big roster is nice because we can kind of like we can cover multiple shows at once, and you can pick and choose what you like, and you're not quote unquote forced to watch something you don't like. So we'll probably pick something up. We like to do things a Rooks and Vets type of deal where like we'll watch shows with people where 2 of us have watched it before, 2 of us haven't, and things like that. Pitch Towns as well, where we have like friends come on and we watch the pilot episode of a show together. So maybe we'll fill the gap kind of that way, but not a ton on the horizon. I mean, the big focus is just Wheel of Time, and it's been an absolute blast to just kind of focus on just Wheel of Time, and it's been really, really fun.
Awesome. And if you ever want someone to come on for a pilot episode, I'm sure Ebony, Crystal, and I know I would. It's been fantastic hanging out with you, and I can't wait to meet the rest of your team.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, nice.
And we posted the links to all of the everywhere you could find them, social media links, the website. So yeah, make sure to go give them a follow, and we'll see everybody around, I guess, unless Crystal, Ebony, do you have anything for our friends before we go?
No, I'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Well, see you next week.
My last will just be, I'm really appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. I had an absolute blast.
Of course.
Yeah, and I'm sure this won't be the last time we interact. So
definitely not. Well, not from our end at the very least.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Love to hear that. Have a
Peace
good night,
out, guys.
Thank you, Aaron. We love you, Aaron.
Yes, thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron.